Yo, what up guys? We're coming back at you with a completely different video today, something we haven't done over on the Stomp Wrestling channel as of just yet, and that is to be ranking every single one of the main roster talents from Hall of Fame, main event, good, decent, meh, and then just trash. So, with that being said, let's get straight into it. And the very first superstar on our list is AJ Styles. Now, AJ Styles for me is one of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time. Maybe not in WWE, but in general, one of the greatest of all time. And he's a former WWE champion. He's done everything he can do. That moment at Royal Rumble when he actually made his debut was amazing. For me, AJ Styles is a Hall of Famer. His match with Cody Rhodes most recently, I thought this man was washed. I'm not going to lie. I thought this man was washed, as in he wouldn't be able to have the matches he could have. But he proved me wrong. So AJ Styles is going into the Hall of Fame category. Starting off hot. Starting off real hot. Now we've got Akam from AOP or from the Final Testament. For me, look, I think their first run in NXT, they had something. They really had something. They were different. They were a force. They were violent. They were scary. But it's just not working out. I'm gonna go with the meh category because they are just kind of meh. They're not trash. They just kind of meh. They're not even winning all their matches. They haven't even. I would have thought they would have had the titles on them already at this point. So meh it is. Akira Tozawa. Now I've recently been watching the Cruiserweight Classic from when was it 2016, and this man can go, man. This man can go. So I'm gonna put Akira Tozawa in decent because he is actually a decent wrestler. His character might not all be there, but for me, as a wrestler, he's pretty damn decent. Alba Fire. Now, a lot of people might not know much about Alba Fire. She had her runs in NXT. She had her runs in NXT UK. She had her runs on the independent scene. And since coming to the main roster, she hasn't done much. She is very good in my opinion. But she just hasn't done much for me to really say that she belongs in the good category. You know, we haven't really seen it on the main roster. We haven't seen it at all for a very long time. I'm going to put her in decent. She could go here, but I'm going to put her in decent. We then have Andrade, who has recently come back from AEW. Also, since his return, hasn't done a whole lot. He of course, he had the match at WrestleMania with Rey Mysterio, taking on Don and Santos. But he hasn't really had something to sink his teeth into yet. I'm going to put him in good. I think he can definitely be a main eventer, or he should have been. That first NXT run was amazing. So I'm going to put Andrade in good. We then have Angel Garza, who of course is now in the Legado del Fantasma. And he is pretty good as well. But lacks a bit of something. I think he could definitely be in this category in the future. But for now, I'm going to put him in decent. Because he is pretty decent. Angelo Dawkins, super underrated. Super underrated. The question is, where do we put him? I think he's better than decent. I really do. I think he can go. He has one of the best hot tags in WWE. When he gets that hot tag, you know it's about to be exciting. I think if he is allowed the time and the work and the matches and the stories, he can definitely be in good, for sure. Do I compare him to an Andrade? You know what? He's better than Angel. He's better than Akira because he's got that charisma as well. So, put him in good. We then have Apollo Crews, who has all the athletic capabilities, the strength, the quickness, the speed. Character work wasn't quite there. I thought his NXT character, his latest NXT character that was a while ago now already, where you could like see visions. I thought that was interesting, a bit cringy, a bit phony, but I thought it was interesting at least. Something for him. Other than that though, I'm going to put him in. There's just no character work. And I haven't seen him have a good match since maybe his IC title run. So I'm going to put him in meh for now. This might be a bit harsh, but I'm going to put him in meh. We then have Ashante. And again, haven't seen much of Ashante at all. His recent run with the whatever their name was now, I can't even remember it, with when BFAB was there and when Top Dollar was there. Yeah. Trash? Is that harsh? I can't even say he's trash because I haven't seen enough of him. Let's put him in meh. I haven't seen enough of him to call him trash, you know? He just hasn't done much. Asuka. Now, Asuka is one of the all-time greats when it comes to the WWE Women's Division. And with that being said, Hall of Fame. Asuka is a multiple-time Women's Champion. She had the longest run in NXT. She beat Goldberg's winning streak. Asuka is, for me, definitely a future Hall of Famer. Now we move on to Austin Theory, who at one stage looked like this was his home. The main event scene could have been his home. But since then, it has dropped. I'm enjoying his stuff with Grayson Waller lately. His tag team with Grayson Waller and being the tag champions. For me, he fits into that good spot, but he can definitely be here. And who knows, maybe even a main event in the future. He's got years on him. For now, let's put him in good. We then have B-Fab, who we've seen more of than Ashante, to be honest. She's alright. She's alright. I think there's definitely better workers. I don't want to put her in trash because she can talk and she has that charisma about her. So let's put her in meh. But we've seen a little bit more like in Royal Rumbles and Battle Royals than we have of Ashante. So let's just put her with Ashante in meh. Bayley. Now we've got Bayley, who is currently the women's champion. Is definitely a future Hall of Famer. Part of the Four Horsewomen. Iconic female wrestler for years and years to come. And yeah, for me, Bayley has to be in the main eventer spots. I think this main eventer spot is going to be quite filled with a couple of women. I mean, not main event spot, Hall of Fame spot. My apologies. She's definitely, for me, a future Hall of Famer. She is goated in her division. I see who's next. We got Becky Lynch. She can go right next to Bayley in that Hall of Fame spot. This Hall of Fame spot's going to be quite filled, but is what it is. This era is great right now in pro wrestling and in WWE, so deservedly so probably. This main event spot's looking a little bit bleak right now, but Becky Lynch, obviously for me, the greatest female wrestler of all time in WWE. Simple as that. The man run in 2018-2019 will never be topped by another woman, in my opinion, in WWE for a very, very long time. Now we move on to Humberto. I was about to say, who the hell is Berto? But it's Humberto. I think Humberto has a little bit less than Angel Garza because he tried that singles run. That was a while ago now as well. But he tried a singles run on the main roster. Didn't quite work out for him. Vince tried it. For me, he's in meh. Great wrestler. Nothing else about him. Bianca Belair. Damn, this woman's slot is filling up, eh? It's really filling up in the Hall of Fame slot. Bianca Belair right next to Becky Lynch. Hall of Fame worthy for sure. Future Hall of Famer for sure. She changed the game, as in the work rate that she has in that ring is unmatched compared to a lot of female wrestlers. She's got the character. She's one of the most over baby faces. She had an iconic run after beating Becky Lynch with the title. For me, Bianca Belair, definitely Hall of Fame. Now we have Bobby Lashley, and I think Bobby Lashley is going to take up our first main event slot. He probably will be a Hall of Fame in terms of WWE stuff, but to put him with these guys, I'm not so sure right now, especially his last couple of years has been kind of bland. His stuff with the Pride isn't quite working out for him. I know he's been dealing with a lot of injuries. Bobby Lashley probably is a Hall of Famer, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of where I think he is right now, main eventer for me. Then we got Braun Breaker, and this is going to shock some people, but for me, I can't see Braun in good. I can't see Braun in decent. I can't see Braun in meh. Trash, definitely not. For me, Braun Breaker is main event. Already. And this is more of a little bit of a prediction. I know I'm saying already. For me, he's that good. He's got all of it. We've seen it on NXT. He's got everything you need. I'm putting him in this slot. I think he's better than these guys in good. I think he's better than decent. Obviously, these last two is a no-go for Braun Breaker. Obviously, nowhere near this spot, but that spot's coming for him in the future. Braun Breaker, main event for sure. We then have Bronson Reed. For me, Bronson Reed goes in the good slot. He is very good for his size. He is a pure monster. I just wish they'd push him a bit more. So I'm going to put Bronson Reed in good. We then have Brutus Creed, who potentially could be good. Potentially main events. I think his brother is more likely to take that slot. For now, I'm going to put him in decent. I think as a tag team, they are great. As a solo or as in his current role, decent suits him best. Cameron Grimes, unfortunately, is no longer in WWE, so let's give him a skip and let's just put him somewhere down there. We then have Candice LeRae. Now the question is, Candice LeRae is very good, should potentially be there, but will never be there in the main roster. I'm going to put her decent. She hasn't really had those banger matches like she had in NXT on the main roster, so let's put her in decent. We then have Carlito Trash. Carlito is washed. I haven't enjoyed a single Carlito match since he's returned. He is not the man he used to be. He's not even a proper heel. Where's the apple? Where's the spinning in the face? All of that we love about Carlito is not around anymore. So trash it is for Carlito. He is the first trash in this video, and it might be harsh, but it's not working. Then we have Carmelo Hayes, and for me, he goes right next to Bron Breakker, fittingly so. He is just too good. He deserves the spot next to Bron Breakker, and these two are going to run WWE for a very long time in the future. So for me, Carmelo Hayes goes into the main event spot. More of a prediction. Cedric Alexander is really, really, really good, but he has not showed it. So, meh. Chad Gable, for me, this is a tough one. I'm going to go Chad Gable at good. Yeah, Chad Gable at good, but I think this heel run with the Creeds that is potentially coming could put him there. But I think good is a good slot for him. His matches are superb. His character work is getting better and better. He can cut a good promo. He's not just a good in-ring worker. He can actually do the whole character side of WWE. We then have Charlotte Flair, and that's easy as that. Hall of Fame does not need an explanation whatsoever. Charlotte Flair is the GOAT and one of the GOATs in the women's division. We then have Chelsea Green, who is, in my opinion, decent. She could have very, very good matches. I've seen some very good matches from Chelsea Green in the past, like in Lucha Underground, like in Impact Wrestling / TNA. So for me, though, in WWE, Chelsea Green is decent. Character work is up there, but I can't put her in good. You know, she doesn't live up to the hypes of these wrestlers there. She's more in this category. We then have CM Punk, who it's obvious, Hall of Fame CM Punk. His work in his first run, hell, even his work in his second run, this stuff with Drew McIntyre is so damn good, even though they're not even getting physical with each other. It's just that good. So CM Punk in the Hall of Fame spot, easy as that. Cody Rhodes can go right next to him in that Hall of Fame spot. For me, Cody Rhodes finishing the story was one of the most epic, long-awaited stories that we've ever had in WWE, and I don't think it'll be topped for a very, very long time. So for me, Cody Rhodes in the Hall of Fame spot. Now we have Cruz del Toro, and Cruz del Toro for me is trash. Joaquin Wilde is much better than Cruz del Toro in that tag team, miles ahead of him. Cruz del Toro into the trash. Dakota Kai for me is decent. She is trying to run with the whole I'm now the mouthpiece for Damage Control. I'm not sure it's working. Her matches are good. She's got a different style to everybody, to a lot of wrestlers, that's for sure. So decent for me is Dakota Kai. Damian Priest, main eventer, and I know he's been getting slack by a lot of people for not being a main eventer in their opinion, yet he's the world champion. But for me, he is a certified main eventer. His run with the title, I'm enjoying it so far. He seems dominant, he seems aggressive, he seems like a leader with the Judgment Day. He just seems like he should be in the main event. We then have Dexter Lumis, trash. Not even going to carry on with that. Wyatt 6 potentially, we'll see. Dominic Mysterio for me. My heart says main event. My mind says good. As a heel, Hall of Fame. In-ring work drops him down to good, in my opinion. But I could easily put him here. If it was just purely my opinion, no bias, he'd be main event. But good for now. This slot can definitely come. Dragon Lee for me is very decent. I'm going to put Dragon Lee at decent because we need to see more. His in-ring work is fantastic, but we need to see more from a character's point of view. That's what separates Ray from a lot of other master wrestlers, is he's got a character beyond being a master wrestler. And I know that's sometimes harsh to say, but in WWE that does come off like that. Partly because of their booking, or should I say mostly because of their booking, but it is how it is. Dragon Lee, decent for me, could easily go to good or even main event. Drew McIntyre, ooh, this is a tough one. Drew McIntyre, is he main event or Hall of Fame? This current run from him screams Hall of Fame. But I don't think he fits with those guys up top there. I think he fits with Bobby, you know. I think he's on that level of Bobby, but could easily be there by the end of it, just like Bobby. You know, in hindsight, he'll be up there. But right now, for me, Drew McIntyre is in the main event slot. I just think he needs this run to continue for a little bit longer. That's all. Electra Lopez, trash. I saw a match in NXT when she was there, and yeah, ever since then. Alton Prince, good character work, average wrestler. I'm going to put him in decent because of that character work. Eric, decent wrestler, but they've just tried it over and over and over and over. This whole War Raiders or whatever their name is now. Why am I forgetting their name now? Anyway, the Viking Raiders. Let's just put him in meh. I think they've tried it too many times. They haven't really gone all the way. So meh. Finn Balor for me, main event, easy. Easy. He might not be there in real life, but easily main event worthy. Giovanni Vinci is decent. I hope he goes back to his NXT character now that Gunther has turned on him, but decent for Giovanni Vinci. Grayson Waller, also decent wrestler, great mouth skills. In the ring, there's some left to be desired in the ring, but Mike Skills puts him in decent for sure. Now we've got Indy Hartwell. I really like Indy. I really, really like Indy. But it's just not working on the main roster. It's just not working. She got her NXT title win. She didn't defend it. I feel like that was almost like a sympathy thing because she was going to the main roster at times. So Indy Hartwell, meh. Isla Dawn can be a great wrestler. It's not quite working. I don't think she's as good as Alba Fire. So for me, Isla Dawn goes to meh as well. We then have Ivar, who in my opinion is better than Eric, and he is damn good. He's showing his character work in NXT. I know he's now facing an injury, which is potentially going to put him out of action for a very long time. I've enjoyed his singles run. He has had some banger matches with a lot of people. So for me, he slots into that good slot. He really does. Ivy Nile, that character work just decent. I mean, she's in meh. She's in meh. It's just something's lacking. Io Sky for me goes to the good category because I was happy when she got the title run, but there was a lot left to be desired with her title run, and I think it exposed a little bit of character work which is needed to be worked on. Maybe she just needs a good mouthpiece, and maybe Bayley wasn't the fit. Maybe it was purely down to booking. That's also a huge possibility, but for me, she's going to go in the good category for now. Jay Cargill, she's got a lot of character work, lacking in the ring. I'm going to put her in good. Jay Cargill and Io Sky in the same category. That's wild. That is wild. You know what? Jay Cargill is decent. Jay Cargill is decent. The in-ring work really lets her down. JD McDonough is decent. Because if you know the meme, you know the meme. His in-ring work is fantastic. He sells his ass off. He's had some great matches with the likes of Finn Balor, even in the past. I think it was an NXT UK show, pay-per-view, whatever it was. He sells his ass off. That RKO alone at War Games last year, or earlier this year, puts him in decent for sure. It was definitely last year. Jey Uso goes main event Jey Uso, simply because his character work is top-notch. He's over like hell. His matches might not be the best. He might have his 5 moves of doom. Have criticized them in the past. I may have enjoyed his Bloodline character more, but you can't deny him. You cannot deny him. He's just too over with the crowd. He is that. What else can you ask for? What else can you ask for? Jimmy Uso, one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. I think he's being exposed a little bit, so I'm going to put him in decent for sure. I think he got exposed a little bit in his singles matches. So, especially the one at WrestleMania. He's not nearly as over as Jay. That's just probably a product of his booking, but that's just how it is. We then have Jinder Mahal. Jinder is, for me, surprisingly decent. I know he's been... Actually, Jinder's been released. Let's not rank him. Not fair on him. We're going to Joaquin Wilde. We put Cruz del Toro in trash. We'll put Joaquin Wilde in decent. He is so much more athletically gifted than Cruz del Toro. He's got a little bit of a promo on him. Very, very small promo on him. Yeah, Cruzal or Joaquin Wild, definitely decent for me. Johnny Gargano is in the good category, but he has not showed it on the main roster. But he's got so much credit in the bank from NXT that he has to go there. Julius Creed, decent just like his brother, potential to be so much more, but that's where he is for now. Kairi Sane, her latest run for me has been meh, has been so not. I have not enjoyed her latest run at at all, at all. But she should be up here. She should be in good or decent, but right now she's in meh. I've just not seen enough. Carl Anderson should be up here, but he's done nothing, so meh. Karrion Kross, decent. Potentially meh, but decent. Katana Chance, decent. They tag team work with Caden Carter, also decent. They tag team work alone puts them in decent for me. We got Kevin Owens. Ooh, Kevin Owens, main event to Hall of Famer. Kevin Owens, main event to Hall of Famer. Damn, this is a tough one. Kevin Owens, main event. That's where it is. By the end of it, he's for sure a future Hall of Famer. But he often loses. He often gets put into spots which I feel are below him. So for me, Kevin Owens in main event. We then have Kit Wilson. Where did we put his brother? I feel like we put him in decent. They got decent character work, decent tag team work, so we'll put them there together. We then have Kofi Kingston, who is, for me, very good. At a time, he's here. But for now, he's good. Definitely future Hall of Famer, but this is just where I rank them right now. He's for sure a future Hall of Famer. LA Knight, yeah, straight to the main event. That's where he should be. That's his spot. But of course, he's not there right now. He's just flip-flopping around till he gets his shot at Logan Paul. Liv Morgan, for me, slots into the good category. I think she is too over at time when she was a babyface, too over not to be, or to be in this decent category. Put it that way. She has had some very good matches with the likes of maybe Becky Lynch. I think she had some decent matches with Rhea Ripley at times. For me, yeah, Liv Morgan in good, possibly decent. Logan Paul, ooh, this is a tough one. Logan Paul's in main event, guys. Logan Paul is in the main event. Promo work is great. In-ring work is great. Yes, he does get a lot handed to him. Yes, he does train a lot for one single match. But those are just things we can't control. And what I see on my TV is main event worthy stuff. We then had Ludwig Kaiser, who is for me in the good role. He can cut a good promo. He can have a good match. He should be right there in the good category, and a singles run should be in his future. Luke Gallows, meh. Maxine Dupree, meh. Or trash. You know what? She's got character work. She's got a story. The story is her getting better and better in the ring. For that reason, she goes meh, because there's an excuse for her greenness in the ring. These guys, no excuse. Minchin, so good in the ring, man. Her Impact in TNA run was so damn good. She should be here, but I'm gonna put her in decent because she's decent for me. Pause. Montez Ford in good for sure. He should be there. Yeah, Montez Ford in good for sure. We then have Naomi, who for me goes into the good category as well. I saw her work in TNA. I know it's not WWE, and it was really, really good. Some of her work in WWE has been good. She's got a character. She's a former women's champion. Naomi goes into the good slot. We then have Natalya, who for me is in the decent spot. She could be in the good spots because if she had more matches on TV that were allowed time with the other top level talents, she'd have good matches every week. Solid 7 out of 10 every single week. We then have Nia Jax. What is going on here? Why is this doing this now? Anyway, we then have Nia Jax, and Nia Jax goes into the good category for me because she has been so good in her latest run in WWE. I'm enjoying it so much. Nikki Cross, meh. Omos, trash. Otis, meh. Paul Ellering, is there a reason to do that? No. We'll just put Paul Heyman in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because he's Paul Heyman, and he is a Hall of Famer. Pete Dunne for me should be in good, but I really like Pete Dunne. He's going into good. Piper Niven is decent. R-Truth, for the jokes, should be Hall of Fame, but we'll put him in decent. Randy Orton, easily Hall of Famer Randy Orton. I'm flying through these now, guys. Raquel Rodriguez is good. Rey Mysterio, Hall of Famer, no doubts about it. Razor, we put your brother in, or is it? It's not even your brother, but we put him in meh, so you go in meh as well. Rhea Ripley for me isn't there yet because the title run was kind of meh, so we're gonna put her into the main event. We then have Ricochet, who for me is a good wrestler, lacks a bit of else, but his wrestling ability is top notch, so we'll put him in good. Ridge Holland, I know you're in NXT, but your work in NXT gives you a meh. Roman Reigns, no doubts about it. Hall of Famer, we'll put you in that number 1 spot. Yeah, I know this is not in order, but we'll put him first. Easily, I don't even have to explain that one, to be honest with you guys. Sami Zayn, for me, is definitely in the main event slot. Santos Escobar is decent. I was hoping for better things from Santos, but he's decent. Scarlett, as a wrestler, trash. As a manager, meh. Seth Rollins, for me, in that main event slot. Damn, there's a lot of Hall of Famers. A lot of Hall of Famers. We then got Shayna Baszler, decent. Sheamus, main event worthy. Shinsuke Nakamura, he's kind of washed, but decent. We then have Shotzi, meh. Yeah, Solo Sikoa is decent. Can't put him anywhere else. Tamina, trash. Tegan Nox, meh. The Miz, main event. Just from their promo ability over the years. Main event for sure. Then we have Tiffany Stratton in that good role for sure. Tommaso Ciampa, put him in good. Tyler Bate, decent. Valhalla, trash. Via is not even in WWE anymore. Xavier Woods is decent for sure. Xia Li is no longer there. Zelina Vega, decent. Zoe Stark, decent. Now, if we were to have on this tier list Eli Dragunov, he'd be main event. If we were to have in this tier list perhaps the likes of Tama Tonga, he'd be good. Tangaloa, he'd be trash. If we had the likes of, who else is not in this tier list that got a call up? There's a couple people. Lyra Valkyria would be probably in the decent role because I'm not a huge fan. If we had perhaps Dijak on this list, he would be in the good role for sure. If we had, who was the other woman that got from NXT? Not Fallon Henley, but the other one. You know who I'm talking about. I've hit a blank. She would be decent as well. So, if I've missed anybody, let me know down below and I'll tell you in the comments which section they should be in. But for me, the Hall of Fame class of this 2024 roster would be Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Asuka, Bayley, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman just for the sake, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Seth Rollins. The main event slot would be Bobby Lashley, Braun Breaker, Melo, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Rhea Ripley, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, and The Miz. He's lucky to be here. He's lucky to be here with his losing streak, but I just think his promo work, it's just too good not to be in there. Just too good not to be in there. Perhaps we should just put him in good. You know what? The Miz, you're going in good. Unlucky, buddy. With that being said, guys, that is today's video. This is our tier list right over here. Let me know how trash I am at doing this tier list, or let me know if I got it spot on. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.